Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video should be a really quick one, I think. I'm going to be chatting about a make-along that I'm going to be joining in, hosted by the Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama podcast. And I was watching their videos a few days ago, catching up. They joined in with the 12 cast-ons, so I was catching up on the videos where they shared their projects that they started for my make-along. And at the end of the final video, they mentioned about doing a spin the bin challenge, and the idea is you just get a bin of fibre or a box of fibre, however you want to organise your fibre, and challenge yourself to spin through it in 2025. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I've started lots of knitting projects. I've started a crochet project, which you'll find out about in a future 12 cast on video. I did start one spinning project, but of course alongside my knitting and crochet I do like to have lots of spinning on the go, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to hop on to someone else's make along and to challenge myself in the process. I've gone backwards and forwards a few times on what my challenge should be. I don't want to take on too much, obviously. I've just cast on 12 new projects, and that is on top of all of the works in progress that I already had on the needles, which again I'll chat about. I'll probably do a 12 cast-ons roundup once I've finished the vlogs for the 12 cast-ons. So I'll chat more about how many projects I've got on the needles and what my plans for the coming weeks, months and years will be with regards to those. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to take on this challenge in some way, and I went backwards and forwards about it. I knew that if I tried to pick out 12 braids, like one a month, that would be too much. I did think about settling on 6, so one every 2 months, and then I thought, oh, maybe I should do like 4 and give myself 3 months to spin through some things on my spindles. I just couldn't decide what to do, and in the end I decided I was just completely overthinking things. And I'm just going to go completely random. So by random I mean, over in the corner of my craft room, I'll show you in a bit, I've got all of my fibre stash, and I've got several plastic totes filled with fibre, and I've also got some IKEA cubbies, which I've got, well, there's 8 cubbies altogether and 7 of them are filled with fibre. And originally when I set up this craft room, when we moved here like 9 years ago, the IKEA cubbies were meant to be my fibre storage, and I wasn't meant to accumulate any more fibre than would fit in those cubbies. But of course, best laid plans and all that. You'll see how much excess I've got aside from those cubbies. So what I've decided to do, as I say, there's 7 cubbies. I'm going to ask a random number generator to pick a number from 1 to 7, and I'm just going to pull out everything in that corresponding cubby, and that will be my challenge for Spin the Bin. Okay, so this is the fibre storage section of my craft room. This little corner does not include the fleeces that I own. But as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3 totes and a box there full of fibre. I've got this basket here which has got a lot of my bigger quantities of fibre in, so more than 200 grams. And then these are the IKEA cubby units that I'm talking about. They go down to the floor, but on the floor only one side is full of fibre, the other has got some random embroidery and sewing bits and pieces stored in it. I'm going to count this as 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7 at the bottom, and they've all got random quantities of fibre, random mix. So some of them have probably got 6 or 7 quantities of fibre in, some might only have 3 or 4. But we're just going to go with it. I'm going to pick that random number, and then I shall pull out everything in that cubby and I'll show you what will be in my Spin the Bin challenge for this year. This is going to be fun. We are going to be discovering together what is in my spinning challenge for this year. I've brought up just a quick random number generator on my phone. Minimum 1, maximum 7. Oh, 6. Okay, so that'll be one of the ones nearish the bottom. I might end up rearranging how they're stored in my cubby just so I've got easier access to the things that I'm going to spin. Let me just go and grab those fibres and we shall have a look together, see what I'm going to be hopefully spinning in 2025. Here we are. This is the mix. Everything that isn't stored in those plastic cubbies, I do make sure they're in Ziploc bags to hopefully keep away the critters. I haven't always been that successful at keeping away the critters. I have had a few problems with that last year, but for various reasons, including the fact that I was away quite a lot last year and I didn't move my stash around. I wasn't cleaning in this room, organising this room as much as I usually do. So obviously when things are left undisturbed for a while, that's when the critters like to settle in. So I did have a couple of fleeces that I lost to moths, and also some of my garments have been moth damaged as well. But you might get to see those in a future video series. But for now, let's tackle what's in the bin. In no particular order. So I'm going to start with this one. Now, this is a mystery fibre, but I think, based on the bag that this is in, this might have been a gift from my friend Caroline. Quite a few years ago now, Caroline sent me a box of lovely fibre, probably not long after I started spinning. And I think they came in these bags. I haven't actually got this bag labelled, so I'm not 100% sure. So apologies for not remembering correctly. But yeah, this is just some lovely grey fibre. Probably merino. I would imagine if it is something that came from Caroline, it will be merino. Obviously, I'm not going to make any specific plans with these spins, but maybe I'll mix this up with something else. I don't have that many solid yarns in my handspun stash, so it might be quite nice just to spin it as it is, although it might not be the most interesting spin colour-wise. It'll be nice to have some skeins that I can potentially contrast with some of my more colourful handspun. Fibre hank number 2 is this beauty from Penberth Yarns, based here in the UK, and it's a superwash merino and nylon. I obviously purchased this with the idea of spinning for a fun pair of socks, so that will definitely be the aim for this one. I will likely do a fractal spin. There's lots of beautiful colours in here. I will make a final decision once I've unravelled the braid and I'm ready to spin it, but socks for sure out of the finished yarn from that beauty. This next one is an interesting one. It's John Arbon fibre. I think it's from their Harvest Hues blend. I purchased this probably at either my first or second ever Wonderwall, which is the big sort of yarn and fibre show that's held here in Wales every year. And my intention, I bought 2 colours of this. I bought this and I bought a lovely blue colour with the intention of spinning for a toff hat, which is a pattern by Woolly Wormhead, and the original sample of the toff uses very similar sort of blue and orangey colourways. Now the blue fibre I have subsequently stolen, and I used it to make my litmus cowl, my handspun litmus cowl, a little while ago. So I don't have any of the blue left, or if I do, I've only got a small quantity of it left. But seeing this again, I'm feeling very inspired to follow through that idea and make that hat. Coincidentally, I'm about to place an order with John Arbon. I've got a couple of my lovely friends, Caroline from Colourful Creativity and my lovely local friend Lisa. We are all fancying a little bit of a splurge on John Arbon. So I might add some blue to pair with this one. A bit of a naughty fibre purchase to kick off the year. These ideas aren't set in stone. They're just my sort of first thoughts as I'm pulling out the fibre from the bags. And who knows what the finished yarns will actually turn into. We shall see. In this one, I have got 2 braids. These are both from Hilltop Cloud. They're the Nordic collection. And I think, if I remember rightly, I purchased these on D-Stash. This one is called Earth. And this one is called Sif. And they're 50% merino Corriedale. Yum yum. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Maybe I could make a toff in that and then I wouldn't have to buy extra fibre. Nah. Who wants to be sensible like that? There might not be quite enough contrast in these, or at least not the dramatic contrast that you get for the toff in these two. But they're gorgeous nonetheless, aren't they? So yeah, no particular thoughts or plans on what these might turn out to be, but I shall certainly look forward to spinning them. I love spinning Corriedale and I do enjoy spinning merino, so they should be a lovely blend. And 2 matching skeins, if I can spin them similarly, which hopefully I will be able to, make for a nice 2-colour project maybe at some point. 5 braids so far altogether, and then I've got what looks like a bit of a random selection in this one. First off, from Fibre Hut, I've got this natural teas water, and I think I purchased this because I've not spun teas water before and I was just curious to try it, so that will be an interesting learning experience for me. It'd be a good excuse to dive into my fleece and fibre source book, learn a little bit more about teas water and how maybe best to spin it up. Number 7 is from Feather and Fleece, and I think this might have been, was this a club colourway or was this just a random purchase? I think this one might have been a random purchase. This is the Monet colourway and it's BFL nylon, beautiful blues. Looks like it's got a little bit compacted in my stash. It's been shoved in that bag with several other fibres, so I might potentially put it through my carder just to open it up a bit, we shall see. But BFL nylon again would make some lovely socks, is potentially a plan for that one. Also from Feather and Fleece, although the labels do say Smith Studio Designs, they Rowan changed their company name. I've got these two, and these were definitely from a club. So I have got, oh no, it's my fibre nemesis, Rambouillet. I thought I'd spun all but one Rambouillet braid in my stash, but this makes it number 2, although it's only 50 grams this time, so not too bad. And then pairing with that in the same sort of dye colour, which is called Light 'em Up, I have got some silk. They both say Rambouillet on the label, but this is definitely silk. This might be an interesting experiment in combo drafting, so spinning from 2 different fibres but drafting them at the same time. I've not really attempted that. I attempted a small sample on my spindle last summer, but I've not done a larger spin. So there's 100 grams of fibre altogether. So that might be an interesting experiment. And I think it would be interesting to see how well I can keep the colours matching, because obviously these fibres are going to draft slightly differently. The thicknesses will be slightly different. I think the silk will probably go much further than the Rambouillet. So yeah, could be some fun spinning, experimenting with that one. Finally in this bag is another Smith Studio Designs, or Feather and Fleece I should say, as they are now. And this is some soybean fibre in the Defying Gravity colour. And this is another interesting one. It looks very strange, a little bit scraggly. And I think Rowan sent a note in to say when they dyed this fibre it split a little bit. So it wasn't looking at its best. But this one might be another one that would be interesting to do some blending experiments with. I don't know if I'd want to spin it on exact, mind you, I suppose I could split it up and just do some sampling maybe. Spin a little bit of it on its own, maybe mix it with some of the other fibres that I've got in my stash. Yeah, could be some interesting spinning play with that one. 9 potential spins. There was me saying I didn't want to do 12. And that's still quite a lot, but it's a challenge, right? Let's think positively. Right, okay, I think that's it for this video. Spin the bin challenge. Thank you to the lovely Sylvie and Robin for hosting this. I will put a link to their video where they chat about it below this video if you want to go over and check it out. I don't think there was any deadline to sign up. It's a year-long challenge and I think it's quite flexible. You can choose whatever challenge means to you, and they're hosting the spin along on their Ravelry group, I believe. Yeah, watch the video, you'll get more information than I'm randomly waffling and throwing at you right now. Let me know in the comments below, because I always have a question for you, don't I? I never let you off scot-free. Where would be the fun in that? Firstly, let me know whether you will be participating in Spin the Bin, or if you've got your own spinning goals, spinning challenges going for this year. And secondly, more importantly to me, I can be selfish like that. Let me know which of the braids that I've just pulled out of my bin, my cubby, would you like to see me spinning up first? What one are you most interested in? I'd love to know your thoughts. It'll probably be a few days before I actually start any spinning. Well, actually, I know it will be a few days before I start any spinning. Probably a few weeks, potentially. I am trying to concentrate on my combo spin at the moment, which is one of the projects that I started for my 12 cast-ons. There is an outside chance that maybe I'll get one of these going on my spindles. Other than that, it'll probably be a while before I see any significant progress on my challenge. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will be back again soon with some more making content. We'll be hopping back to my 12 cast-ons daily vlogs again after this little interlude, so I hope you will join me for the next one. Until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some other things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.